Welcome to Antisocial Commentary. I'm Chris. By myself. Well, I'm not by myself. I have Mia behind the camera today. Can't really see her. She might chime in at some point in time. We might need her help to keep me on track. So I've got a revolving door of guest hosts, I guess. Been haven't found the right fit, but sometimes it's just better when you do it by yourself. You know what I'm saying? We'll find out. Mia shaking her head no, but we'll see. Before we get into this week's stuff, I just want to talk about what I got going on, which is absolutely nothing. We have not much we can do right now with the quarantine, but I am back reading books. The book I'm reading this week is called Hollywood Godfather. My life in the movies and in the mob. Excuse me. It's by Johnny Russo. He actually played Carlo Rizzi in The Godfather. If you have seen The Godfather, if you're my age, you probably have not seen The Godfather, and if you have, you probably thought it was not that great. Old niggas love that movie, but I've seen it 3 times now. I've seen it when I was 18, maybe a little younger than 18, but then maybe probably like 14 or 15. Then I saw it again as 18 to 20, somewhere in there, and then now I've seen it as an almost 30-year-old, and it's gone from like boring to trash. Or actually, it's gone from trash to boring to, and now I'm just like, it's okay. Like it is what it is. It's not. I'm not, dying to see the movie or anything like that. But I have given it another chance over and over again, and I'm actually haven't really been finding it. Now, before I go any further, Mia, have you turned on the mic on the camera? Because I don't remember if I did or didn't. It should be a green light on the back if it is on. All right.
It's on now.
Well, okay. Well, the first, I don't know, what is that? 1 minute and 51 seconds will not be visible. Oh, I guess I can put the audio. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, it's a pretty interesting book. He's lived a life that I guess we wish we could live. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. Some of the information in the book, I'm kind of like, I don't believe it to be true. But he actually talks about seeing John F. Kennedy sniffing cocaine off of I can't remember what the actress's name was, but sniffing cocaine off her ass. So. Which is not actually. I absolutely believe that happened. It's JFK. It's a known fact that he cheated on his wife with Marilyn Monroe, and I mean not just Marilyn Monroe, but it's highly known that he cheated on his wife with Marilyn Monroe. Him and his brother actually. So I find it quite entertaining to think about a president actually sniffing cocaine, which is.
So, like, real quick, because I might have missed that. Is this book a autobio? Is it a memoir? Is it a bio?
I'm not completely sure what to call it, because the guy that the book is telling the stories is actually illiterate. So someone else wrote the book, but he's telling the story. So how does that work? Because I know an autobiography.
It could be a co-written autobiography.
Co-written autobiography. Okay. Because.
But is it a life story, or is it a story about a few moments? That's the difference between a memoir and an autobiography.
A life. It's his life story. So what's a memoir? Is just a couple moments.
Memoir is like memories, like different moments, and then an autobiography is going to be like your life, like from beginning up till where you are.
Well, he's been doing a lot of like his life. So, but anyway, no one came here for a book report. I find the book to be pretty interesting, and I'm actually going to get more into reading since I'm actually quite late, but I actually love to read, but I haven't read anything throughout the quarantine, so I guess this would have been the best time to start reading stuff. But I'm trying to read at least a couple pages every night or something. After this, I'll read Angie Martinez's book. Hopefully, I enjoy that. So hopefully, we didn't bore you with the first 4 minutes of just talking about books. But hey, I'm a black man. Gotta read sometimes. So let's get into it. It's been an interesting week. Biggest news that came out this week was Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion dropped the video for W.A.P, and dropped the song for W.A.P. This caused a lot of, I would say, controversy from males and females. So the main controversy I've been seeing is like, people complaining about how inappropriate it is, and I'll give my thoughts on the song in a minute, but it's about how inappropriate it is, especially. Is this being young ladies? How is this going to make young girls feel? This, that, and the third. A lot of complaints there, which rightfully so. They should get complaints about that. One of the other things I was seeing is a lot of women were trying to defend it by saying that, men have been doing this for so long. Why can't women? Now, I will say this: when men actually do the same type of things that they were doing in the song, men get criticized as well. I don't think it's not not. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. When men talk about sexually explicit things, do they not get criticism? Or I mean, is there something I missed? Because rap music since the Uncle Luke days, when it was sexually explicit lyrics, it got criticized. It's gotten trying to get banned on radio and stuff like that. I mean, again, Uncle Luke, Ludacris with Splash Waterfalls. I think just things I'm thinking about. The Tip Drill video. Remember that controversy around that?
Are like from the past. Would you say that they're still getting criticism now?
Criticism. I mean, maybe. Let's be clear. What they're talking about in the song, WAP stands for wet ass pussy, right? If a man was talking about his hard ass dick, do you think women would be like, "Oh yeah, that's what's up," or do women criticize shit like that? Like, 'cause let's be honest, no one likes somebody to brag. Like even if a man's dick is 12 inches long, no woman wants to sit here and hear that. So, I mean, I don't think that the criticism, the defense of it being that men do it, so why can't women? I'm all for it. Men do it all the time, but men get criticized for it. And if women want to do it, they should do it. But when you do stuff, make music like this, you will get criticism. You will get people that get backlash. Because, hell, to answer your question, I could have sworn maybe 2 years ago when Lil Pump came out, grown ass men were complaining about how this wasn't real rap. He's ruining hip hop. I mean, and before Lil Pump, it was Soulja Boy. Before Soulja Boy, it was whoever. You know what I'm saying? It's always somebody that people want to be like, oh, this is the end of rap music. This is trash. This, that, and the third. So, I mean, if it's not like men are above getting criticized for the music they're making. Now, the subject matter, I don't know if people are actually criticizing the same way. Because we don't ever hear how people complaining that. Give me a rapper that people think is great. Jay-Z. I don't hear nobody complaining that Jay-Z makes rap music about selling drugs or has made rap music about selling drugs and shooting people. Like my thing is this: is what Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion saying inappropriate? Sure, but at the same time, Jay-Z talking about shooting and selling drugs, is that not inappropriate?
I mean, yeah, sure, that's inappropriate too.
Yeah, so at the same time, like you can't champion one thing and then think the other one is that's going too far. Like I don't think Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B went too far as because I came up on Trina, Trick Daddy, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, is her name Kia or Kaya? I never know. No one gives a fuck about her. But we came up on all these girls, like, and I added Trick Daddy in there because, you know, fucking Trick Daddy is disgusting. He was one of the first people talking about eating ass before eating ass was okay. Kevin Gates talking about eating ass. He got criticized for that. Men were just like, ugh, we're not doing that. And then Janae Aiko talked about eating booty like the groceries, and all of a sudden niggas was like, oh shit, we eat ass now. So, you know, whatever. But so again, we can't act like what they're saying hasn't been said before. Like Trina was absolutely disgusting. Lil Kim was disgusting, and they came almost Lil Kim over 20 years before Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. So as time goes by, obviously things get less conservative. But so knowing that Trina and Lil Kim was saying this 20 years ago, was like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember Free's verse on Lady See My Dick? Remember Free from 106 Apart? She had a verse on the Whisper song on the remix.
Okay, I'm mad that you actually whispered it.
Wait, see my dick. But listen, how you gonna? They had a whole song called "Way You See My Dick, A Bitch." Like, and we talking about what wet ass pussy. Now, again, that's me criticizing the people criticizing to give them song criticism. Okay, yeah, no one wants to hear about your wet ass pussy because we don't want to hear what dudes do in the bedroom, you know, this and the third. Like, we don't want to hear it. If you can't brag about shit, people don't like people that brag. It is what it is. My thoughts on the song, though. I didn't like the song. I didn't fuck with the song. Video, I didn't like the song. All right.
Oh, but you like the video?
The video is there.
No. Yes or no? You like the video?
I mean,
it
was artistic.
That didn't answer yes or no.
It was an artistic video. It was artistic.
Like the video?
I like the art. I like the visuals. You know what I'm saying?
Cheeks and titties.
That was there, but I mean, but Michelangelo had cheeks and titties in it. Okay. Michelangelo, I mean, look at the Sistine Chapel. It was mad naked people in it. You know what I'm saying?
It's fine. You like the video. It's fine.
I won't say like. I mean, I appreciated the art. I appreciated the art. That's all. I mean, I like the art.
Moving on.
I like the art. But anyway, I mean, minus the Kylie Jenner part.
But you like the rest of the cheeks.
You know, I like me. I love black women. I don't support what Kylie Jenner got going on. Anyway, the song was I didn't like the song. But that song wasn't for me. I understand that. Like the song was for women and women of a certain age group, probably younger than me, maybe my same age group. I'm not sure. What do you think was for people our age or younger?
I would say our age.
All right, okay.
I would say period, because the fact of the matter is, I think that women feel like female empowerment can look like a number of things, and it can look very risque, and it could also look very what's the word? I don't know, covered.
Conservative.
There we go. I'm sitting here, all I can think in my head is like, what's the word for covered up? What's the word for like modest?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It look very modest. So I think that had a lot to do with like being empowered as a woman. And a lot of people feel like being empowered as a woman is having my freaking titties out like Cardi B did when granted she had her, her areola and her nipple covered. But having my titties out, showing my body how I want to show it, and talking about what I want to talk about. And guess what? I feel strong and I feel empowered, and these men not going to try to make me feel no type of way because I said it first.
Okay.
Like I feel like a lot of women kind of think that, but then you have a lot of women who think the complete opposite. So female empowerment goes so many ways. Well,
I mean, I don't disagree there, because it's like on one hand you want to be empowered in the business world, in the business world, or whatever, like professional. You want to be a professional. On the other hand, no, I want to be empowered by having sex, or being comfortable in my sexuality. Which again, I don't know that to be the same for men. Like, we act as if though men just walk around talking about how many bitches they fuck and how much sex they're having, like in the professional settings. Like we act like that's okay. I mean, I'm not saying that men don't. No, I'm not saying that men don't do it. I'm just saying we act like it's acceptable when they do. It's not. It's still unacceptable. Do men do it? Absolutely. Have I been someone that was at work talking about something inappropriate? Sure, but it does not make it. That's what I'm saying. It's not okay. I hate the argument like, oh, if men can do it, how come women can't? I mean, it's not like we're saying that it's okay for men to do it. It's just that men do it, and it's not and not something you should want to emulate. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like, they're not going a step past that. It's not, well, if men can do it, how come women can't do it and it be okay? It's just, we don't care if you're doing it and it's okay. Yeah. You're doing it, I want to do it. The rest of the piece, like how you feel about it, I don't think maybe that's the part that's kind of being skipped over.
Well, I agree. And that's why when women are like, well, men can do it, why can't we? It's like, no, when men do it, it's not okay. And when you do it, it's also not okay. We're just, you know what I'm saying? Like, now men probably aren't going to complain about other men the way they're going to complain about women, but...
I mean, this is just all double standards, though, when it comes down to it. Double standards constantly exist. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes they only feel right when they're in your favor.
I mean, honestly, no one wants to complain about a double standard that doesn't work in their favor. That does work in their favor. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear women complain about, oh, it's a double standard that men can talk about sex and we don't. But you never hear women complain about the double standard that men are expected to pay for everything. You don't never hear that. You don't ever hear about the double standard of men getting women are allowed to explore their sexuality. If men decide they want to do that, they're instantly gay. And no, there's never going to be a woman that wants to mess with them. Well, I only know about black women. I don't know how the other side does. But black women, they find out you even thought I had a gay thought. It's like, oh, you're gay forever. So it's just like there's double standards. So I don't hear you complaining about them when it doesn't affect you. That's why I don't complain about double standards. Like I accept double standards as they are what they are, because there are double standards that work in my favor. Like, I can walk into a room and express how I feel, and no one's gonna be like, "Oh, he's a bitch." Whereas you walk into a room, you express how you feel, people are gonna assume that you're a bitch. It is what it is. I get that, but I also
You're saying like bitchy.
Bitch, like if you came in a room, yeah. Like, you know how when girl, like, well, if you're in a professional setting, if a girl was to express how she felt about something, as whether
then that means she's like the angry one.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, when on all actuality, she's just expressing how she's trying to make the system work just as much as a man would be trying to make the system work. But because she's a woman, instantly people think, oh, she's a bitch, which isn't fair. So, and again, it's a double standard, but I'm not the type to complain about double standards. But again, the song wasn't for me. Didn't like the song, the video. The song was for women.
Do you not find it to be at least catchy?
Oh yeah, definitely a catchy song. I'm not a big Cardi B fan, like her music wise. I'm a fan of her, like as a person, because I like how she like her come up. I'm not a fan of like the antics, because ignorance is not something that's entertaining to me. Like, I don't think being a stupid person is funny nor cool or something we should all try to emulate. That's just not for me. Being purposely ghetto, because let's be clear, she be doing a lot of that shit on purpose. We know that some of that is just it's not like, no one acts like that. You're being a caricature. We can accept the fact that she's a caricature. I think we all do. We all accept it. Some of us may or may not actually. Let me take that back. Like, her fans probably think that's just how she is all the time. There's no way. And if she is, there'd be no way that she's where she's at now. You have to have a sense of You can't be ignorant and make it places. You have to have some type of sense to make it places. At least that's what I assume. And she's successful now, so like, you start rubbing elbows with people, some of that stuff starts wearing off. It's like Rihanna. Like, you don't hear Rihanna's accent no more. Have you noticed that? Like, it's there a little bit, but
I ain't heard Rihanna.
Well, true that. She don't talk a whole lot, but I heard her actually speak not too long ago, and I was like, where's the accent?
She ain't worried about us.
I ain't mad at her at all. I'm not shit. I ain't mad at it. People be complaining like, where we gonna get the music? Bitch, I worth $500 million. I'm not making shit. Well, whatever. So Too Long, didn't read. W.A.P. Video was cool. Didn't like the song too much. Again, not for me. It's for women and gay men, but I mean, gay men like every female rapper. Like, you name it, gay men are. You name a female rapper, I guarantee you a good more than 50% of their fan base is probably gay men. Oh, except for Azalea Banks. No one gives a fuck about Azalea Banks. Which now let's get into I don't know if I can make this topic funny, but it's something that I did want to talk about.
I'm not sure what you're about to say. You might be on your own.
It's something I did want to talk about, right? So, like, earlier this week, Azalea Banks was posting about how she didn't want to be here no more, and she was about to, commit suicide, right? And said that she wasn't doing it for attention and stuff like that. Now, and this is something I'm still trying to work out, so don't kill me just yet. I'm trying to process this, but to me, if you're gonna commit suicide and you're posting about it on social media, does that not sound like you're trying to gain some type of attention? I mean, because that's what social media is for, right? To get attention. We can all admit that we use our social media for some level of attention, right? Whether we want likes, whether we want to DM people, whether we want to speak to people online. I'm confused on that topic. On that portion. So I just wondering. I guess my question is, if you're posting about committing suicide on social media, is there a level of trying to gain some type of, I don't know, some type of attention, whether good or bad? Because
when anybody talks about suicide at all or posts about whatever, they're normally crying for help. Like, they want somebody to help them not go through with it, or they want someone to help them feel something aside from that.
I would think so, right? So, for me, it's just like, when you're on social media and you're saying stuff like that, and you're somebody like Azalea Banks, who has probably more people that dislike her than actually like her, what do you expect is going to happen if you say stuff like that? Is it going to be more people saying, all right, do it? Because one of you're not well liked, and for two, we live in a society where we love seeing the car crash. So I assume that I mean I didn't look at what her mentions were saying, but I assume she had a lot of people in there saying, you know, like go ahead, go through with it. Which I want to make clear that's not right. You shouldn't do that, whether you dislike somebody or not. But I don't know. Suicide is such a heavy topic, so I don't know. I don't know how to handle that type of situation. Even with like as a person, I do not like Azealia Banks and the antics that she does, but I don't want to see her kill herself. I wouldn't encourage her to kill herself. So I don't know. I might be biased, but I don't understand. And Lakeith Stanfield, Darius from Atlanta, the weird one from Atlanta.
Okay.
He was posting about, you know, alluding to committing suicide as well. And so it's like a part of me is like you're doing it because you want attention, but another part of me is like you may be crying out for help. So
okay, so
how do we navigate that?
Specify what you're saying. You're posting because you want attention because you say you're doing it. Doing it means
you're on social media. Sorry,
okay.
yeah, you're on social media because you want attention. A part of me is thinking that, but another part of me is saying, like you said, it's a cry for help. So, but that's not where you would.
I would hope, and I don't think that anybody wants attention bad enough that they're willing to go on social media and say I'm about to kill myself, and this is going to get me attention.
I mean, to be honest with you,
that's a
big hope.
The cry for help. I would hope that that's what it is. Like, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I need something. I need to talk to someone. The people in my circle that I talk to on a constant, it's not doing it for me. I mean, obviously, you know, you would want people to go to counseling, but people have so many stigmas behind that. And
True that.
They don't want to go, or they don't know how to go, or they don't want to have to share with someone they don't know something so
True that.
Intimate.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to social media because they're looking for, you know, an opportunity maybe for someone to say something positive. Like maybe they just need something positive.
Maybe, but that's a big hope. Like like people do anything for attention. I think you know that. Like it's crazy how much stupid stuff we look at that people do for attention. Look at Tekashi. Like he was in L.A. in front of the Nipsey Hussle not memorial. What's it called when they, and he's saying he was paying respects, but like we know you're a fucking troll. We know that Nipsey Hussle was killed by a rat. You're a rat. You claim to be a blood. Nipsey Hussle was a Crip. There's so many different things. Like, bruh, like why are you doing that? And we know you're fucking trolling. Even if you're not trolling, we're gonna assume you're trolling. So it's just the things that people do for attention. I mean, remember way back before all the shit hit the fan with Tekashi, he was beefing with Chief Keef and then went to Chief Keef's neighborhood at like 3 a.m. Yeah, nobody was outside. It's 3 a.m. But what if by some off chance somebody was? Like you're out here, you're playing with your fucking life. Like I don't understand the amount of things that people will do online just to get likes or attention or whatever have you. So pretending like you won't commit suicide, I don't think that's a far-fetched thing to think that will happen. Nor do I think that people will actually do it if they haven't already done it online for attention. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we seen a video like someone live stream their own suicide. I'm sure someone has done it already, but like
there's actual websites for people to do stuff like that, but.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that type of stuff is not mainstream, but like, we're not far from it. Let's put it that way, because we've seen some crazy shit already. Like we've seen everything that World Star can show us, and then we have to update that somehow or another every time. Like when World Star came out, it was fight videos. That's all we wanted to see was the fight videos, and we were like, oh shit, fight videos, that's crazy. Then it went to people actually getting shot, and then we see people getting killed. And so it's like, what's next? What's the next thing we're gonna see people doing? Fucking raping people? Like I don't like killing people. Like we've seen people die. We've seen people get shot. Seen people stabbed. Seen people fall out of high buildings and maybe die, maybe not necessarily die. We've seen broken arms, broken legs, bones sticking out of skin. Like, we've seen it all online. And eventually, that type of shit, we become numb to it, and you have to one-up that, and people are going to try and one-up that with their attention. So it's just crazy. Like, I remember when we were in high school, there was something called the BME Pain Olympics, right? You ever heard of that?
No, but I'm still stuck on the fact that you said eventually. I would hope nobody ever becomes numb to that, because it's crazy every time.
But we are numb to it though, because like remember a couple years back when ISIS was posting all the videos of people getting their head chopped off, and we just sat there and watched it, or not necessarily we as me you, but like society. It was literally on YouTube. Like we just watched it. Like, and to this day we don't know. You don't remember those people's names because we're numb to that. Like, if it was something that was so crazy that we would remember the names of the people that was in it, or we'll at least remember something about those people, what they did. I think we were journalists or something. We don't remember. But ISIS was doing like a new beheading video every day or every week. I mean, and so it's just like they were dropping beheading videos like fucking mixtapes. It was ridiculous. And eventually we became numb to it and stopped caring. We move so fast because of things like social media and us having our smartphones. We move so fast on to the next thing that we can't sit and appreciate or I hate to use reflect. There we go. Because appreciate, I don't want to appreciate a beheading video. But we can't reflect on what's happening right now because we're always looking at what's the next thing. So people doing things for clout, doing things for attention, it's not shocking that somebody would try and commit suicide or fake like they're committing suicide, you know what I'm saying, online. And it's sad because there's someone right now that's going through something and is probably going to kill themselves, and no one's going to give a fuck about them because they're not doing it online, and people are going to care about the person that did it online. You know, isn't that fucked up when you think about it? Like, how is it that oh, damn, I was about to say, I was about to go say something where I was about to be like, yeah, someone that commits suicide the right way. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is someone that commits suicide quietly and suffered in silence and didn't tell anybody is not going to get no type of attention, but the person that does it online, we're going to care about because it's just how we are. Like, I guess we need to see things for us to actually care. Like the Vietnam War, no one gave a fuck. Well, I'm not saying no one gave a fuck, but it wasn't that big a deal until people in America were actually watching the videos of what was going on over there, and they were like, "Oh, that's fucked up. This war is fucked up." There was many of people, thousands of men coming back home, and like their brains were fried, and no one cared. You can walk past a veteran. We do it now. You can walk past a veteran, and it ain't shit. But the moment you see something that happened on TV, or in which now you see it on your phone, you're just like, oh shit, it is fucked up over there. So I think as a society we can compartmentalize so easily because it's something that's not it's not affecting us. I mean, if we want to tie it into something that's going on currently, Black Lives Matter movement finally is getting somebody. It's kind of fading off just a little bit now, but it was finally getting somebody, some mainstream like people actually saying like, oh shit, it is fucked up. That is messed up. Black people are being targeted by the police. Black people are going through things that we may not go through in our neighborhoods. And maybe if you don't want to agree that they're targeted by police, you're actually seeing like what we're saying is like, oh, black men should not be killed at the hands of the police. A lot of people were saying like, oh, black men, they had to have done something because of there's no way a police officer would do that. Which it's hard for us as black people to be like, how did you not see that? But you have to reflect on the fact that a lot of people that didn't come up in our neighborhoods or have parents like that we have that warned us about how the negative sides of dealing with police. Like my dad doesn't even like seeing police officers. He gets upset about seeing police officers. they see police officers. The people on the other side see police officers as helpful. All they do is help. They only see police officers when they're called upon. Whereas in our neighborhoods, we see police officers just driving up and down the street all the time, and it feels like what's the word I want to use here? It feels like we're being watched by somebody. Like, why are we being watched? And I understand where it comes from. We can have that conversation later on. But if you're a white person and you only see the police when they're called upon or when they're doing something positive or stopping a crime, in your mind that the only time you see see police officers hurt somebody is because that person was a criminal. Now, I want to make it very clear, I'm not caping for white people. Y'all have had 400 years to this point to have seen. Okay, Bailey and Riley had something to say about my point. Bailey, chill. Y'all have had 400 plus years at this point to try and see where we're coming from, try to understand our side. So I'm not giving y'all any type of slack, but I'm just saying I get where the mindset comes from, of only thinking that cops only do good. What I'm saying is, objectively speaking, I can see why they think there's no such thing as a bad cops, which is dumb to me, because you see any movie, not any movie, but there's plenty of movies with crooked cops. Like, do you think that just came from somebody just made that shit up for entertainment? Like, no, art imitates life. I mean, not every cop is crooked, but like, the fuck, like, how'd you not think that there's a such thing as crooked cops? Hell, you probably are a family member with a cop that's crooked. So. Whatever. I won't get into that. All I'm saying is I understand where the mindset comes from. I'm not okaying it because you've had all these years to get it right, and you haven't. But anyway, finally, Black Lives Matter finally gets some traction because we're able to actually see something. We saw a black man literally not fighting back, literally not resisting. We saw a cop with blatant disregard for his life just rest his knee on his neck, and no one did anything to stop it. So it's like, oh, you think George Floyd is the first person they did that to? Do you think this is the last person that they did that to? No, we just so happened to get it on video. This video just happened to be the one that everybody saw. Not to say that I'm not happy. In a dark way, I'm happy that stuff like this is finally being seen. It's unfortunate that George Floyd had to die for this to happen. I would never want that to happen, but you see this now. You see how messed up it is for certain people in your country. I'm not even gonna say black or white. In your country, this country is supposed to be built on everybody getting an equal chance, everybody being fair for all. Everybody should be treated the same way. You see in your country that's not true. So I would much rather George Floyd be here, but I am optimistic that his death will not go in be in vain. Let's put it that way. I do think the cops will probably not get as rough a sentence as we would like, but it's a good chance that what's his name, Derek Chauvin. It's a good chance that he's going to be. They're going to make an example out of him at the very least, because I mean he had a bunch of disciplinary action on him already. So it's like, bruh, you're not going to get any sympathy from anybody. So there's that. But also I have optimism for. I mean, this wasn't a cop, but Georgia, Ahmaud Arbery. I'm optimistic about that situation as well. As long as the prosecution doesn't fuck it up like they did for Trayvon Martin. That's another thing that I feel like we don't talk about enough. How horrible the prosecution was for the Trayvon Martin case. Like, we talk about, like, how did y'all let them get off, or how to do this, that, and the third, but we never talk about that the prosecution they lost that. They lost that case. It was like an open goal that y'all completely missed. Like, you making fucking jokes in your opening statement. What do you, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they haven't got criticism. I'm just saying, like, we ignore we ignore that portion to just talk about the racism portion, which obviously but like prosecution, I think for me the prosecution being so shitty is the argument for the what I think. I like if I had to put on my conspiracy theory hat, I think the prosecution purposely lost that case. It's like, did you try? Did you really try? In recent years, we found out that Zimmerman was a piece of shit. Like he signs like empty bags of Skittles. Yeah. So like
in recent years, we found out right then and there.
Well, I'm saying as time has gone by, we found out that he's not been a good person. Like didn't he beat his wife or some shit like that, or pull a gun out on his wife? Like he's not a good person. He's a horrible human.
Yeah,
he's a shit stain.
What happened and turned it into like his claim to fame.
Yeah, like I said, he became a white supremacist celebrity, which is funny because to white people he would be like he identified as Hispanic for so long. White people love this guy all of a sudden. And like you do realize that had you not killed Trayvon, white people would still hate you because they would have instantly thought you were Hispanic. Because I think he identified to be Hispanic, and then when it came to this, he identified himself as more white. I don't remember it was almost 10 years ago. And then, excuse me for forgetting, but shit, I don't fuck him. I will say though, it's fucked up that they killed XXXTentacion in Florida before they got to Zimmerman. But I said that before Jay-Z, so I mean I didn't get it recorded, so I guess it doesn't count. But I'm just saying, like, I don't get how you kill a nigga in your neighborhood, but your neighborhood is over policed by the same white man. You scared to kill him. Not saying that you should kill him. I'm just saying you're not scared to kill someone that looks like you because you know you won't go to jail for it. But somebody that comes in your neighborhood and is putting a metaphorically and literally putting that knee on your neck, you ain't gonna do shit about it because you know you'll go to jail for it. So I mean, whatever. That's yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Let's try and liven this up a little bit. We went a little dark already. I'm trying to be.
No, don't you say we? You did.
I like to be a little bit more.
You went dark. I'll let you be great.
I mean, we were pretty. Let's talk about some more wet ass pussy. I guess I don't. I don't know. No.
Okay, well let's talk about this. So people are trying to kind of get things back to a norm.
Okay.
We're still dealing with COVID.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
That you need to stay your ass in the house. Like I get mad when I see people like posting like you outside. Like, bruh, it's niggas like me and Mia that are suffering staying in the house because your dumb ass want to keep going outside. For me, what pisses me off is that I'm staying my ass in the house. These people going outside. The rates are going up. It's like I might as well go outside. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sitting here just staying inside doing the right thing for no fucking reason because it seems like, I don't know how true this is, but it feels like there's more people breaking the rules than following what you should do. Like it's not that hard to stay inside. I get you want to go outside and you want to have your vacation, you want to celebrate your birthday, but and even this, we're starting.
The thing is that everybody's complaining like, I don't want to have to wear a mask.
Oh shit!
This is messing with my freedom. Bloop bloop bloop. Okay, we get it. Especially if you live out here where we live, it is hot.
It is hot.
Help me, Jesus.
Yeah.
So I get that, but at the same time, we can't get to a position where we no longer have to do those things if people keep moving like we not in a whole different type of situation.
And that's the thing. Like I get that people are getting stir crazy. I want to talk. I live in a house with one person or two people, and we got 4 bedrooms. I get there's people out there that have 2 bedrooms with 4 people or more than that, and you feeling stuck. I sympathize with you. I will say that you are suffering more than I am, but
the precautions
fuck.
are still there though.
Yeah.
If you gonna walk out your house, you still need to
Put on a mask.
follow the precautions, put on the mask, and keep the distance because this stuff is getting tired.
Here's the thing: we never weren't allowed to walk down the street. You were allowed to walk down the street, just wear a mask. You don't have to stay in the house. You can go into, if you have a backyard, you can go in your backyard. You have a front porch, you can step on your front porch. If you live in an apartment, just walk. You can walk down the street. These are all things you can do. So, sorry, had a quick technical difficulty, but we got to handle that. What were we talking about? Oh, staying inside. Yeah, the precautions have been there. Like, but it's never been. They never said you couldn't leave your house. You could still go to work. You could still if you had an essential job. If you could still go to work. You could still walk down the street, but wear a mask. Like it wasn't like China where they were like, if you left, they beat your ass. Like you could still leave. So it's just like, I don't want to hear the whole, I feel cooped up in the house. It's like, all right, at least it's not happening in the time of year where there's blizzards out. You know what I'm saying? At least there's a time of year. There's no place in America right now, I don't think, where it's blizzarding right now. Where it's freezing cold. Like is
that a word? Blizzarding?
Blizzarding. Like, I don't know. It could be a word. I don't know. But now, part of me is, when it comes to Corona, it's just like, it's starting to seem like the illness isn't as deadly as what we thought it was. Like you know, probably how like niggas in the 80s thought AIDS was. Like, you get AIDS, you're dead instantly. Like they were making it seem like you get it, you on a respirator type of thing. It's a low percentage of people that are actually dying from it, but I want to make it very clear, I just don't want to be sick. Regardless, I don't want a cold, I don't want the flu, I don't want pneumonia, I don't want COVID, I don't want to get sick. If there's something out there that we don't have necessarily a cure for, or a known remedy, because that's a whole nother thing when it comes to Corona. We don't. Maybe this works. Maybe this doesn't work. This works for these people. This made these other people more sick. So we don't have like the flu. We know what to do with the flu. We know what to do with pneumonia. We know what to do with all these other things. So it's just like, for me, I don't want something that we're not completely sure about. But it does seem like we're gonna have a vaccine soon. So let me ask you a quick question though. Do you think that China should have some type of like reprimand for this? Do you think that they should be
for the disease,
for allowing this to happen?
How do you reprimand? What does that look like?
I mean, sanctions, like you sometimes you might have to pay pay a nice little chunk of change that gets distributed across the world. Like, I mean, it is an illness, so it's kind of.
Do you think that should happen?
It is an illness. That's not something that you necessarily control, but at the same time, where the illness came from, y'all controlled it. Like, y'all allowed these type of things to happen. The wet markets, that is, y'all allow these things to go on. You know that we all know that shit's unsafe.
Like, we didn't feel like it was broke, so we didn't need to fix it. We just now finding the error, like, to them. Not to us, obviously. We don't want nothing like that. But maybe to them, they feel like, well, shit, it ain't broke, so what we need to fix it for? And now it's broken. It's like, oh.
It's been broke a few times, though. Did you not know about the bubonic plague, China? It came from y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Same thing from a wet market, though?
No, but it came from, like, dirtiness, because it came from fleas that bit rats, where the fleas and rats normally be around.
Oh, well, shit, look how long that was. Look how long ago that was.
I mean, there's been other things in between
they
there,
Gucci,
but
like they chilling.
Yeah, but it's known at this point. It should be internationally known.
It's a cultural thing too, right?
That's the thing.
Tell me how to do my culture.
No, well, yeah, that's the thing. In their culture, that I guess was okay, but.
I mean, it gotta be if they have that. You come out here to somebody Black Mama Cookout talking about you finna have something bad.
Okay, but let's be fair. American culture. One of the things that we do here in America is the rattlesnake. Well, yeah, for sure. But that doesn't affect the world. I mean, it can because our culture does affect the world.
Yeah,
but
we not carrying something from a burger.
Right.
Over there.
But okay, so rattlesnake preachers, you know what that is? Like the preachers that will be like, "Oh, I'm holding a rattlesnake. God's going to protect me." You never seen that?
No.
You never seen that before? Oh,
no,
shit.
but you have like you and your snake thing. Like you got a real thing with snakes.
No, I just know that this is like how religious can you be when you let me hold a rattlesnake and think that I'm gonna be all right?
I love God, and I know that He does put you through tests, and I'm not going to walk to that test. Please.
That's a test I'm willing to take an incomplete on.
That's quite all right. He put you through tests. I'm not walking to that one.
That one. So yeah, if other people across, we know how dangerous that is. We know that if one of those rattlesnakes gets dropped, it can kill a lot of people in the church. So we say that those things are illegal.
It's captured. It's like in a building.
Yeah, they're in church. They're holding up a rattlesnake. They get a rattlesnake.
Outside,
I mean, I'm sure they have a few that are outside, but they'll be in the church holding a rattlesnake. The pastor will be like, or other venomous snakes or dangerous snakes. I am anointed by God, and will hold the snake up and say that they won't get bit. And most of the time they get bit, but I won't say most of the time, but there has been times where they got bit. But if they drop the rattlesnake and it bites someone else, then we know that's dangerous. So in America, we make that illegal. You cannot do that, even though we have the.
So you're saying as a result of China should make wet markets.
They should have.
Illegal.
They did originally make them illegal, and then
they brought them back.
Years went by. I can't remember exactly why. I did look into it. It kind of, I believe, it was one of those things where it was like, hey.
So this slick was just like, we don't see a problem with it no more, so come on back, because we missed that
camel meat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with them eating the weird thing, what we consider weird. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to eat camel, eat all the camel you want, but do it safely. Like, people that want to get up in arms every year about the dog festival, I have no problem with them eating dogs. Just make sure you're eating.
What?
That's their culture, so I don't have a problem.
Oh my!
I don't think they're wrong. I love dogs, but I'm not going to eat one. But that's their culture, so I get it.
But this is the thing: the situation. People are not up in arms because, oh my God, they're eating dogs.
Yeah.
People are up in arms because the dogs are getting tortured in the meantime.
I think it's a combination of both.
Sure, it could be a combination of both. To us, we got 2 dogs here. Yeah. Lord, I don't even like smelling them sometimes when they need a bath, let alone want to eat them.
Yeah.
Like, the thought of torturing, I personally cannot torture something. Yeah. Like, I can't. So.
What do you mean by torture? Like
that's part of what the issue is. It's like the fact that how they're handling the animals, whether they're like putting big animals in like super small cages, or they're like putting a whole bunch of them in cages, or they're making whatever they're doing to make them have to suffer. I had looked this stuff up a long time ago, and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't take it anymore, because I saw Lisa Vanderpump does like a whole thing for that. She's on some of the reality shows I watch.
Yeah.
And she does like a whole thing for that.
She
does a whole thing for that, but the thing is that when I was watching the videos, it was a whole bunch of like putting these animals in cages, dragging them, hanging them. Like, if you gonna eat them,
just eat them.
Yeah, put them out their misery and just do it.
Yeah, right.
And let me be clear, I'm not co-signing that, because that is horrible. But if you gonna do it, then just do it and be done. Like, you dragging it and torturing it, and like, it's.
Now, real talk, you know how I know I'm a fucked up human?
Ew.
You know how you was like, just do it? I'm about to post a picture of you holding, walking one of the dogs and put the Nike logo and say, just do it on it. Just to see what, just to troll you.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I hear her just do it. I just picture the Chinese dude.
You see me just do it, and you post a picture of me walking the dogs, and it's gonna mean that I'm doing exercise with my dogs. And I'm eating them.
Anybody that's listening to this knows that that's where it comes from. So I might make that the cover of this episode.
Don't do that.
But no,
But that's really the thing, though. It's like people are watching them get tortured, and most people consider dogs, cats, things like that to be
domesticated animals.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people consider it to be like their
friend.
baby.
Yeah, I mean, I consider our dogs to be my child. I say doctor instead of daughter. I say dogter.
Oh God.
I carry one of our dogs literally like a baby. So, and she seems to enjoy it. So, and I've been carrying her like that since she was a 6-week-old. So,
now she's about to be a 3-year-old.
I'm super attached to our dogs. However, I look at it like this. If people in India saw us eating a hamburger, they would freak the fuck out on us and say how we're so wrong for doing that.
Right.
But I would uppercut the fuck out of an Indian trying to tell me I could eat my Whopper. You can knock the fuck out today.
So then you're saying that you understand that they have their feelings and they're allowed to feel what they want to eat.
Yeah, if they want to eat, I don't have an issue with them eating. Let me rephrase. I don't think that I would not eat dogs, but I get that it comes.
So
that's their culture.
With them having their culture, they just need to have their culture safely.
Yeah.
But if part of their culture is not doing this safe stuff, then they're not fully it seems that part of their culture is not, well, let me cook it until I cooked all delivers from you all the badass germs.
And not even that, they're
not cooking them things out,
and they're haphazardly doing the living conditions. Like, you're letting a monkey be in a cage that's above a camel, which is that's under a cage with bats, and they're shitting on each other and pissing on each other. They're eating each other's shit.
Oh my.
Eventually, they were eating monkey too. Just want to let you know that.
Okay.
They were and those cross contaminants get into. They eat the meat that's already contaminated, and that's where all the sicknesses come from. So it's a powder keg. Eventually, something bad is going to happen. Whether it was something small like a stomach virus, or we ended up with COVID-19. You built
I'll tell you what, their immune system is probably the most beastiest immune system.
I don't know. Then again, our whole lives we've seen, I won't say Chinese people, but Asian people walking around in public with masks on. So maybe over there it's normal to be wearing a mask.
That is something to consider.
Yeah, we've seen Asians wearing like growing up. I always went to I always flew because my parents both worked for the airline, and I would always see Asian people wearing masks in the airport, and it was nothing that
maybe because they thought we was dirty.
I don't know. I think as a younger person, I thought it was just like their culture. I guess they just wore masks. I don't know what I thought, to be honest with you, but. Now we're looking.
Why he do it?
Well, because he was scared his face was gonna melt.
We are not gonna talk about Michael Jackson.
But or maybe he didn't want everybody to see him peeping at these little boys. Anyway,
talking right now.
What we don't know is, what I don't know was at the time I didn't know that they were doing that because they live on top of each other over there. It's not like how we're here in America. We like to spread out. A lot of the cities over there are like Japan. A lot of people live in one city, like Tokyo. They all live in Tokyo, and in the countryside, there's not many people out there, and they all just live on top of each other.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not criticizing. That's their culture. I don't criticize, but it's just maybe getting sick over there is way different over here. Like, we'll get sick, we'll stay at home. Whereas over there, they get sick, they stay at home. There's multiple people living around them, Now, it's easy for things to get outbreak. I don't know. I can't talk about this culture things. I'm uncultured. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
So let's switch gears a little bit. I actually posted on my Instagram page. I asked people to ask questions, and I'll answer them on the podcast. And I got a few questions. I'll answer those now. So let's go with the first question here. The first question is Bailey or Rhea Ripley. The backstory on that. That is actually a wrestling reference. These are two wrestlers. Bailey's actually currently the SmackDown Women's Champion and the Women's Tag Team Champion with Sasha Banks. Rhea Ripley, she works down at NXT. She's relatively new. She's Australian. She's she's Australian or British. Oh, I can't remember. I feel bad now. Um, so to answer that question, to answer that question, I'm not a fan of heel Bailey, so I'm gonna go Rhea Ripley. I liked Bailey's old character. Her old character was like a fun-loving, kind of naive girl.
She's Australian.
Oh, she's Australian. Okay. She's fun-loving, naive girl. I like to hug everybody. I'm just so happy. And now she's playing a bad guy or a heel, and I don't really like her character too much. It's not. I don't like. She's not good as a bad guy. Some people are really good as bad guys. Some people are really good as good guys, and some people can do either one. And that's not a knock to anybody because a lot of people consider Ric Flair to be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Horrible at being a good guy. Great, best bad guy of all time. Horrible good guy. Think of somebody else. People consider Randy Orton to be a one of the goats of all, greatest of all time. And he was not very good as a good guy. The Rock is good at being good or bad. So that was that's one that was able to do both. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He started off as a kind of a tweener, leaning more towards bad guy. Then he became a good guy, and after he became a good guy and was the face of the company, could never, ever, ever go back to being bad because he did a heel turn. Which looking back on it, was like, oh damn, that's a crazy heel turn. But it's like y'all shouldn't have did it. It just ruined a lot of the story. I won't get into it. Yeah, it's frustrating. So let's go to the next question. Who's your favorite, me or Shelby? Well, I can't say names on here on who. I'm not gonna say names on who actually said it. But Mia knows who actually asked that question without having to know. So who's better, me or Shelby? I'm gonna have to say Sabelle. Next question. You missed side one. Oh, okay. So side one comes from my. I used to work at UPS in the warehouse, and there was two sides of where I worked. There was like two conveyor belts, and one was side one was side two. If you worked on side one, you normally did side one and side two work. So you had to drop your nuts to be working a side one. You were expected to work a lot harder than everybody else because you were pretty much the pulse of that area. I'm making it seem as if though that part of that job was a lot more. What's the word I want to use here? A lot more taxing than what it was, but really it's moving boxes. But you had to be fast anyway. So I worked side one with guys like I'm not gonna say y'all's names, but. I don't miss working there. I miss the homies though. I miss being up there with y'all. We had some great times. We used to some of the most fucked up jokes you could think about. We used to talk about up there. And to be completely honest with you, as a man, I miss things like that because it's nothing but men around. Not to say that having women around ruins things, but having women around ruins things. Cause y'all aren't funny. So we would be up there. That's please. We would be up there and we would laugh about you name it. We would laugh about it. We found something funny in it. Shout out to Rashawn. I'll say your name, Rashawn. Me and you could sit here and have a 2-hour conversation. If somebody listened to that 2-hour conversation, not only would we probably go to prison, we would never be able to have a job ever again. So shout out to you, Rashawn. Which old ass. So someone asked, why are you such a cool ass person? Why am I such a cool ass person? I don't consider myself to be cool, but I can answer that question the best way I know how. To be honest with you, my mom passed away when I was 14 years old, and ever since then, I just not really cared too much. Like I don't let things stress me out too crazy. I try to be as laid back as I can. I mean, of course, I have my moments that things, turn me up. But other than that, I'm more of a relaxed person. I'm more of a type of person that kind of just lets life come at me and handle what's coming. Because having your mom pass away at such a young age, you realize that some things are it's some things there's nothing you can't control what's next, you know. Did my mom live the healthiest life? No, but she was relatively young. She didn't have any crazy health problems, like no cancer, no. She wasn't morbidly obese. She was actually in pretty good shape for somebody her age. She was a smoker, but she was trying to quit at the time. She wasn't a drinker or anything like that. She didn't eat anything crazy. So, I mean, relatively healthy person, minus the smoking. And she wasn't super active, but definitely more in shape than a lot of her friends and some family members. So you just know that like anything can happen. Like, so you just gotta live life as well as you can every single day. Like, you just wake up and just be happy to be here. At least I am. Like, I'm not one of those people like, if something bad happens to me today, tomorrow's a different day. I don't like to dwell on it, and Mia can attest to that. Like, I'm not the type of person that wants to have a prolonged issue with somebody, and that's not to say I don't have prolonged issue with people. So if I do have something where I cut you off completely, it's not because I have an issue with you. It's because I'm not dealing with you. Like, if you're creating some type of negativity in my life, I'm not going to stick around and let you be there. Like, I'm cool with you moving on, whether you're friend or family or somebody I dislike. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and just allow people that are negative, not necessarily negative in general, but like negative are causing a negativity in my life. To just be around me. Now, I don't know if that's the proper way of of handling things. I can't call it, but I try and do right to my amongst my people. I don't get it right every time. I'm not going to say that, but I try to be there for my people. I try to be there for people that depend on me. I try to be there for people that I know I will I can rely on. So it's too long didn't read. I try to be. I'm such a cool ass person because I don't let things bother me as much as everybody else. And not saying that's a good thing. There is definitely some negatives that come about along with that, but there's some positives as well, because I don't want to let a bad day ruin a good week. You know, I don't know if that's. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. I literally, and I don't know, Mia, correct me if I'm wrong, I could have the shittiest day at work, but I come home and I try to make the rest of my day
as positive as you can.
Yeah, and I don't bring my work home. Do I? Honestly, do you think I bring my work home? As far as like, I got pissed off at work, so now I'm gonna be pissed off at home. I don't. Obviously, I bring my work home like I'm tired. Like, but that's everybody. You can't control that. But people will legitimately be pissed off at work and can't do nothing about it, so they come home and take it out on their social media. But I was gonna say on their significant other. But yeah, they do it on social media as well. So I don't know. Let's go to the next question. And I think this is the last question. Yes. What do you have a passion for? You're gay for asking me this, but
refreshing, Jay, because you should have more.
I should have more. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and look. Yeah. So let me ask this one. What do you have a passion for? What do I have a passion for? Cooking. I love making people laugh. I love creating. I love to create, and that goes for cooking and making videos and doing podcasts. Like I have a passion for it. And whether it's good or bad, creating stuff is being able to create something that wasn't. You make something out of nothing. That it just makes you feel like, damn, I did something today. You know, like with cooking, like sometimes I go in there and I see what we have in our kitchen, like what can I make with that? What can I do with that? Or I'll Google something, like, oh yeah, I have a taste for this dish at this restaurant. Well, how can I make that, and how can I make it better? How can I add to it? How can I take something from it that I dislike? So I don't know. I just like to create. So too long didn't read. What I'm passionate about creating. I love creating, and whether people like it or not, I like to create. Okay, this is spam, but I'll read it anyway. Hi, would you appreciate it if you checked out some of our conversation stories we are telling? I think you might relate. White guy sent this to me. He doesn't look like somebody I would be related to, but whatever. Well, all right.
He said might be related or might relate.
Might relate to. Next question. When are you going to marry Mia? That's a hard question. Never. I mean, I guess the question is, the better question, honestly, is when is she gonna marry me? Because it is definitely it would be an honor and privilege for me. It's not so much for her, so that's that. What is your goal with your podcast? So what's my goal with the podcast? I want to be the biggest podcast. No, actually, I don't think I care about being the biggest podcast. My goal with the podcast is just to keep creating, keep the podcast going. I mean, it's hard to get your opinions and stuff out because everybody thinks their opinion is important. Everybody wants to feel like whatever they're doing, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a social media post, whether it's a fucking text message. I don't know. Everybody acts like as if though what they're saying is the most important thing in the world, most profound thing ever. I don't want to pretend like this is a place where you can where everything is going to be right all the time. I'm sure we can go back and listen to the first couple of podcasts and be like, oh yeah, that's where we were wrong. This is it. I don't think that way now. This, that, and the third. I want this to be a place where you can say the wrong thing or you can say something that might not be necessarily the most popular thing to say, but if that's how you feel in that moment, that's how you feel in that moment. And but I want you to have the opportunity to be able to change in the future if it's something that's negative, or if it's something that's negative and you still stand on it, you still stand on it. But my goal for the podcast is just to create a place where you can express how you feel without worrying about anything coming back to you. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you can just express how you feel and expect to not have any pushback with anybody that's here. Like, it's an open conversation, open dialogue, but I don't want to have a space where you can just say whatever the hell you want and we're all just supposed to fall in line and think that what you're saying is right 100%. Because at the end of the day, the only person that will be right is the person that has the control over the book, and I'm the one with the control over the book. So that's another wrestling reference. Running the book basically means that you're or controlling the book, or he has the book. It means that basically you're the one writing the show. You're the one that's putting everything together. You're putting the matches together. So I'm the one running the book. So what are y'all gonna do? Not a damn thing. So I think that's the last question. That's the last question. I like the questions thing. You think I'm gonna do? I'm thinking I'm gonna keep that.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So what if you get somebody who decides like they want to co-host with you, right?
Okay.
Or like they want to be a guest co-host.
Okay.
But they don't live here where we live. Like, are you willing to do a virtual co-host?
I don't know. That's kind of hard. I don't know if we have the capabilities of doing that here.
Like, are you willing to screen record like a Zoom call?
I don't know. I don't know if that's within my realm of expertise. I would have to look into that. I don't know if I'm sure it's not hard.
You can screen record.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not hard to do. I just it's not something I know how to do off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you hear the clickety clack, the girls walking, the dogs walking back and forth. I'm sure they want to go outside. So let's go ahead and wrap the podcast. We've been talking for about a little bit over an hour, it looks like. before we dip on out of here, I just want to say thank you for listening to the podcast. I truly do appreciate your listen. Even if you only listen for 5 minutes, I appreciate you taking the time out. If you want to follow us, we're on Antisocial Media group on Instagram. I want to make sure I get that right because I know I don't necessarily say it the right every single time. Yeah, we're Antisocial Media group on Instagram. My Instagram is Return of Superfly. Do you want me to put yours out there?
No.
Okay, we'll keep yours secret.
But thank you for thinking of it.
And of course, if you can always follow our YouTube at Antisocial Media. So closing out, I'm Chris. That's Mia, and that was Antisocial Commentary for the week.